You wake up in the morning, but your neck, knees and back are still stiff. You don't feel well. You have too much tension. What if I told you that you could have a completely different life with just 30 minutes a day? And today we are doing something special in addition to the exercises we are going through. Let's do it at the same time, Joanna and I. We'll start the exercises right away. You'll see they are efficient, time-saving and easier with our tools and the rescuers. And these are interactive exercises for you, so even if you don't have these aids and rescuers, you can still join in. We'll start by freeing up the jaw, grinding teeth, all these things we don't really want. Joanna, do the following. Open your mouth and you'll join in right away, please. And now bring your chin into this angle here. As Joanna demonstrates, also slightly retract the head and then open the mouth as wide as possible and do it calmly, continuously opening the mouth wider. Then you notice here on the right and left, it pulls more and more, and then you adjust the pulling so that it is just still tolerable. Breathe in and out deeply, keep increasing, and gently tilt your head back a little, because it's possible that saliva might flow a bit. If you keep your mouth open for so long, and that should stay in the mouth, therefore tilt your head slightly back and keep opening it wider. And while Joanna is now immersing herself in it and getting more and more excited, and you can also do that calmly, then I'll show you something that you can also do in between, sitting in the car, at the desk, and so on. With our jaw saver, you take the teeth in the meantime, which is set in such a way that you have a clear stretching, and then you always have from day to day. From week to week, 2 millimeters that you can adjust higher, then you have all these parts and can always increase it further. You keep going. You know it's not over yet. We just have to hold on for 2 more minutes. And now I'll show you another trick. Namely, while I'm doing this now, I take the pusher out of our set and simultaneously relax the muscles. Then you have a double effect. It looks like this. Then I can't talk for a moment. There is a point here below the cheekbone where you can go in with the tip of the presser, and there you relax the muscle exactly. The one that is now also mechanically stretched, which Joanna stretches with her hands in the exercise, I with the jaw stretcher, and which is also relaxed at the same time. And you can do the same thing on the other side, and now try to close your mouth, but hold it tight. Now we do our strength training. Yes, try to close it, but hold it tight, let go again, open a little wider. Soon we will have made it and slowly close again. And the most beautiful thing is the sense of well-being that occurs shortly afterwards. That is already a sign that you can feel better and better when you do this regularly. Now let's continue with the neck. Joanna, you stay sitting like this now, and you now pull the shoulder down as follows. You bend the left arm, pull the shoulder down. Turn your head 45 degrees to the left, reach with your right hand, and do the same at home, over your head. And now, pull, tuck your chin a little further back towards the larynx, and practically pull your head forward, down, right, and then you feel something in the back left of your neck. You feel this pulling. There you immerse yourself. And now it gets really exciting. What am I going to show you now? I'm going to show you something really great. This is our neck saver. And while Joanna is making a little effort there, what is also good is a good training. I lie down here, place my head so that the lower edge of the skull rests on the neck support. And now compare what she does, what I do. I can read now, can watch a little TV. You keep stretching further and further. You need action. What I mean by that is, this is just the after work exercise for the neck. And I'm not only stretching the neck. I'm doing one more thing. I'm now turning my head slightly to the left. And the neck saver has such a nice curvature that ensures that the lower edge of the skull rolls on this curvature. And then I find a point, and it is painful. And that is one of these osteopressure points that we also use in therapy. Where the therapist would press on you, I just lie on it now, with the result that my neck relaxes exactly in this muscle area that is taken care of by this point. And so I look for all these points and relax while I stretch, double effect, and I just add one more. The triple effect, I turn my head to the left, back again, and to the right, and practically get a fascia rolling massage throughout the entire area, along the entire line. If you already have the neck saver and you participate right away, then you might learn this triple action for the first time. Now we have to switch, because you have to switch now. Straighten your head again. Pull the right arm down with the right shoulder, look 45 degrees to the right, reach over the head with the left hand, and don't pull the head so strongly to the side. Joanna, pull it more forward, left, down, yes, there you will feel more tension in the back. Yes, she is now doing the other side, and I'm looking for a point pretty far out here, which is often very sensitive. That's more for the lateral headaches. So these neck exercises have a lot to do with headaches that we want to avoid. Even with the worst headaches with neck tension anyway, up to migraines, you can also try it with migraines, and often it helps from the experience we have. And now I'm going to exaggerate a little bit. You see, I'm pulling my arms straight down further and further, and by doing that, I increase the stretch that I feel in my neck, because the entire shoulder girdle is now moving down. And it's getting more and more intense, and I adjust it now exactly so that I can still bear it well. Then I go out a little bit again, tilt my head a little to the left. And now look at Joanna. She does the same exercise differently, but I can also stretch this lateral strand by bringing my arms down again. And then I do the same thing again on the other side. You will notice when you lie on the neck rest, you don't want to get off anymore, because it's simply super comfortable, and many fall asleep on it. One of my sons always tells me that he falls asleep in the evening with his head turned to the right. Now I am noticing a pull on the right and from the focal point, which is good. At the same time, it stretches inward, and then I slowly come out of it. And Joanna too, slowly come out again. That was a lot for the neck. And now we continue. Now we tackle back pain. Now please go on all fours, Joanna, and you join in right away. Please go on all fours. So, and now push your lower back upwards, as if you were making a lower cat hump, yes. And with that, Joanna is now getting out of her hollow back. And stay like that, and let your pelvis hang down. It is not easy to steer, yes. Try to keep the hollow back minimal, and always go deeper, yes. And in the end, you just let yourself hang down, and try to stay slightly behind with the groin and with the navel. Because then the hip always tilts into the position where the hip flexor gets the most stretching. And that is super important. It is not wrong to go into a hollow back. That is also a good idea, only there are more abdominal muscles in it. But above all, we want to stretch the hip flexor, because in our experience it has a lot to do with back pain. Yes, and while you are working now, I will show you a small alternative, also highly recommended for the evening. Namely, I take the back saver and lie on it. And now, regarding the back, I have a stretch that is at least equally intense, yes, but I rest and let gravity do the work.
Yes, that looks pretty relaxed on you.
Describe what happens with your arms.
Yes, they are very strained.
Yes, especially if you're not used to it, it's difficult, and therefore a wonderful alternative is also very suitable for the evening. I even do it partially in bed for for that you need a firmer mattress. Because then, when you fall asleep, you can roll down directly, you can continue sleeping, and the back saver eventually falls off the bed or also remains undisturbed. Yes, and this is how you always increase the stretching. And now let's do some strength training. You press your knees into the mat, and I'll try to lift the legs. This is the same strength training, but I don't lift them up. Instead, I just try it and then relax and continue into the stretching, and you do the same. Yes, in this way you can connect the same thing that Joanna does with reading a book or listening to music and simply relax, especially in the evening. Very, very well suited. Then we move on to the spinal exercise. Come out slowly, very, very slowly come out further, yes, and bring your legs forward like I do and reach for your feet. And now you pull yourself further and further forward and down. Pull yourself into the stretch, yes, like that. But many people have the problem of not being as flexible as Joanna and I. Because I have practiced it a lot, and if you also want to practice and you haven't reached there yet, you simply take our exercise loop and put it around your feet. They come up to here at most, then you practice very relaxed here, and at some point you are a little further ahead. Then there are some tricks on how to turn it nicely to adjust the whole thing individually. And you have the opportunity, without stress, to move further and further forward into the stretch according to your body characteristics and pull against it now. Yes, we do it together. Now we do the strength training. Now the body wants to go back. We hold on with our hands, don't let go. You have to hold tight, and now pull with your back. As if you wanted to go up and your arms hold you in front, really give it all, in the sense of exerting yourself as much as possible. As if you wanted to go up and your arms hold you in front, really give it all, in the sense of exerting yourself as much as possible. Because there the effect is best, and then you let go and move further forward and then pull back again, against, pull hard against. Pull correctly and let go again and move forward, and again you pull. Now all the muscles in the back tighten, which also hurt in case of back pain. They are tightening now. To relax, to stretch, we release all the tensions that are programmed into the back from sitting, and now we come up and go to the corner. Joanna, please go to the corner and stand in front of the corner. The corner is over there. Let's take that corner there. I'll show you how it's done. Please keep your arms horizontal at first, and then at approximately 45 degrees. And now please put one foot back and one forward, but the right one further back. Yes, do the same at home. And now you take the upper end of the sternum. And you keep going further into the corner, and then it pulls into the shoulders, into the upper arm, all the way into the chest muscle. It pulls everywhere, and now it is intensified even further. And I will show you how you can practically take this corner with you in your pocket, so that you can use it wherever you want. You choose your width. that you come to stretch and then you move into this stretch and you stay at the greatest point of the stretch. And now this is a very similar feeling like in the corner, but then I go beyond that and go down and practice for the joint, this whole movement from front to back. And vice versa, and back again, and forward again, back again, and so on. And now we go back to the point that hurts the most. It's been in there the whole time. Because you are doing it quite statically there in the corner, now we want to press against the wall or against the loop with our arms. Press firmly. Now we tighten the muscles that are closely related to shoulder pain, then relax again. And Joanna stays, goes further in, I move a little more, and that is a wonderful measure against shoulder complaints, shoulder pain, frozen shoulder, and all that exists. An impingement, we can try to resolve all these things well with it, and then slowly remove them again. And now we do that for the calves and for the ankles, Joanna. Maybe there at the wall. You might even know this exercise. Feel free to join in. We'll optimize it a bit more. Stand against it. Step back with your left foot so far that you already feel a pull here in the calf with your leg extended. You slide now. You have to make sure that it doesn't slide. And then you bend your right knee and go further into the stretch, but you must keep it straight. And very, very important, maybe visible from the camera, the foot must be completely straight against the wall, so perpendicular to the wall. The most common mistake with this exercise is that the feet are placed outward, because the body wants to avoid exactly the stretching that ultimately causes the difficulties in the leg. Therefore, keep the foot completely straight. And I'll show you an optimization. I do that, for example, and many thousand people already imitate me. Every morning while brushing their teeth, I position the wedge of the knee rest at the correct height. And now simply go forward and have exactly this effect. And the big advantage is, it is much more intense than what Joanna does. Because apart from slipping and all, Joanna's center of gravity is no longer above her left foot, but it is further forward, and I can now use my entire weight to stretch my calf nicely. Stay with it. Keep going deeper, Joanna. Keep going deeper. And now tighten up. Now we're doing strength training at home. Please join in. We tense the forefoot against the ground as if we wanted to stand on tiptoe. The heel must not lift. Let it relax again and go further in. And again, the strength training. Press really hard. Press firmly, release loosely, and go further in, and then slowly come out. Other side, directly bring right foot back, left foot forward. Please join directly, and correct your foot yourself. It is pointing outwards again. The slipping, that's just one disadvantage. Now go a little further out with your heel. You have to look very self-critically at your feet at home, at your backside. It must point straight forward, not outward, not practically following the body, avoiding. We don't want to avoid the stretch. We want to fully go into the stretch, okay? It must point straight forward, not outward, not practically following the body, avoiding. We don't want to avoid the stretch. We want to fully go into the stretch, okay? It must point straight forward, not outward, not practically following the body, avoiding. We don't want to avoid the stretch. We want to fully go into the stretch, okay? And the other side, I will show it again here with the knee brace. You will not want to do without it when brushing your teeth after doing it a few times. Because especially in the morning when the legs are still so heavy, getting off the knee stretcher, the lightness in the knees is directly pre-programmed. And also please stretch against it again. Stretch with the right forefoot against the ground. Stretch really tight against it. Stretch a little more against it, a little more against it, and then let go. And go in a little further again, go in a little further again, and slowly come out again. Okay, swing your legs a little. Do it at home too. Take a few steps. then you'll notice right away what that has to do with your knee health, because the pressure is taken off the joint. Yes, anti-arthrosis, anti-inflammation, anti-destruction in the knee itself, meniscus and so on. Yes, we want to achieve all of that with it. Now let's go back to the mat. Joanna, please sit down and stretch both legs forward. Yes, both stretched forward, completely extended, and yes, stretch all the way. Then you'll notice, stretch all the way through the knees. Yes, look, they are extremely high in Joanna. There is a lot, so a great height that needs to be bridged. Look, put your heels on there, it's already better, because it's important for the exercise that the back of the knees and the heels are resting, yes, like that, and then you go forward, yes, and stretch and pull yourself further and further forward on the leg. Look if you can reach it. Yes, but who can do that with straight knees? And what comes now? Now our loop comes back into play. With it, you can practice this exercise really efficiently. You just go around like this, and can now wonderfully pull yourself further and further forward. And that is the most unpopular exercise on this planet. But what does that mean? That is at the same time exactly the exercise that most people need. And there are interesting studies because it has been found that when one reaches their toes with their hands, with straightened knees, then the entire cardiovascular system is much better off, yes. That is because with these stretches also, that is my interpretation, yes, also the vessels are stretched and simply remain more flexible and therefore function better. Because all the blood flows in the vessels, yes. So, now we are also introducing our strength training here, okay? Don't stop stretching just because I'm not looking, right? Now pull back, feet forward, and torso backward. Pull nicely, build up strength, relax, and continue moving forward. And again, you pull again, pull properly. Now get the strength from the lower back. The torso wants to move backwards, and the calves tense up, as if the feet wanted to move forwards. This tensing is similar to what we just did on the wall, and then relax and continue moving forwards. And again, counter tension, even more counter tension. Are you really counter tensing?
I am counteracting.
Are you looking relaxed?
So I don't feel... Okay, and relax and continue moving forward. And whoever can tries to reach forward again, or if they don't succeed, actively pull themselves forward and a little bit more and a little bit more and slowly out again. Super important exercise for the well-being of your ankle joints, your knees, the entire posterior leg. And often it also has to do with the fact that the leg is more stable when running. You no longer feel so insecure, but can run better, especially in old age. The next exercise is very, very important for the buttocks. Joanna, please remove the discs there. And now you take the left leg at a right angle forward, sit a little in front of it on the mat, and the other leg back and go into the stretch there. Always nice 90 degrees when you do it at home. If the exercise is still too difficult for you, then sit on the chair and put your left leg over the right. And then bend forward with the torso further and further. Yes, but please open the angle a little further.
Yes. So, wonderful. It is exhausting. The exercise is exhausting. I will now show you what an incredible relaxation can also bring about in the gluteal muscle with our SI joint in sciatic savior. You simply lie down and stay with your exercise, stretch yourself, yes? And lie down with your buttocks on it, and precisely first find the point that is really sensitive. I have it on myself. So, now the exercise begins. Well, practicing while resting, I always say. Similar to the back saver, it's also similar in function. However, what happens here is super exciting because the reason for a completely tense buttocks is that we shorten our hip flexor by sitting. And if the hip flexor is too short and one wants to stand up again, the gluteal muscle at the back has to do this work, which is why the gluteal muscle is chronically tense in most people. And you achieve that with the exercise that Joanna demonstrates. But you will be amazed at this relaxation when you lie down on such a sciatica reliever for just 3 minutes and then get up. You will feel that your hip is completely free. Because the gluteal muscle is completely shut down due to tension. And now let's go to the other side. Let's do it with Joanna. Take your right leg forward. Faster switch. Exactly. Right 90 degrees. And with the left leg backwards. And the more you press your hands vertically now, so that the torso comes up straight, then you notice it becomes more and more clear. The stretching becomes more and more. The more you can sit up straight, the better it is. And try to get as close as possible to the right heel with your left buttock, with your left hip spike, and stay nice and upright. And while you do the exercise, I'll show you again what happens here with the sciatic savior on the other side. I'll show you another variation again, because sometimes it's not necessary to raise it that high. But we still leave the lower part underneath. And I'm looking for my point. And now look at what I'm doing. Because we have this way, what's it called? This bump down there. Let's do it like this. I'm missing a word now. Doesn't matter. But you see, I can really turn myself nicely and keep working myself further into this osteopressure. How do I get to the screwdriver? Probably because of the screwing in, because of the turning. Yes, keep screwing in with small spirals and keep going deeper. And whenever you feel like that's enough now, just stay still and continue to let gravity do the work. It's so great that gravity does all the work. Also an exercise for the evening again. Wonderful. Also in combination with what Joanna is currently showing. I don't really feel like it, but I'll still go down because it's always so relaxing to lie on these things. Joanna, now we're going to do another round of strength training for you. Press your right foot. Please join in. Right foot presses against the ground. Left knee presses against the ground. Build up pressure firmly. Build up pressure firmly. Let go. Stretch a little further one last time. Upright. Left groin closer to the right heel bone. Wonderful. And slowly come out again. Emphasize, you are also lying down slowly. If you have participated correctly, you will notice, oh, I have to go very slowly so that my body can get used to it. So, and now please assume the supine position. Assume the supine position and first raise the knee rest. Head straight. And now please lower your chin further and further towards the larynx. And that makes the neck nice and straight now. We are now addressing the incorrect posture. And then you hold your head as you have it now and continue with the lumbar spine further down towards the ground. And then you notice these two depressions, chin and lumbar spine, contradict each other. When the chin goes down, the lumbar spine goes up and vice versa. And exactly in this small area between the chin, which goes down, and the lumbar spine, which goes down, is the balance that the body must find in order to have a nice upright posture. Now you hold these two tensions and we add a third one. Specifically, you stretch your legs and you do it at home. And when you stretch your legs, try to keep them as close together as possible. Don't spread your legs. Stay nice and close together. It may be that if your hip flexor is too short, you notice that the further the knees go down, the more tension there is in my back. And then you let the knees rest exactly in the area where it creates just enough tension in the back that you can still tolerate it well, so positively. And I do the same exercise, but I add something by placing the roller underneath, starting from the bottom and then piece by piece, very, very slowly, moving myself further down towards the feet. And that's why all these muscles which are currently in action relax again. And then I go along the entire back, my t-shirt rolls up with it. That's not what the inventor intended. Now it's working again, okay. And you can do it like this. You can also support yourself on your arms. As an advanced practitioner, you have more weight on them, everyone as they can tolerate it for themselves. And you would also do that up to the top and then do what Joanna did. And then in addition to these tensions of the muscles that form the shape and position, the curves of the spine, you also have a fascia rolling massage. The whole lot of metabolism causes waste to be removed and new nutrients to be delivered to the cells. And let go, relax. And now I have something super exciting for you. We currently have a Christmas promotion running and all the aids, all of these rescuers that we have used now. There are also more parts involved, which we haven't even accommodated now, are included there in a complete package at a truly unbeatable price. Click here or below the video, then you will come to the offer. There you can subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. And there you will find another full body routine. Joanna, did you enjoy it? One more question?
Very, but next time I'll get the aids, I would say.
Okay, let's do it. Goodbye.
Goodbye.